Which normal force?
Normal force B,
Why that one?
because we're working on the same object, so it would make sense to use the, or actually it'd just be, because it's the F of B, you can't just get rid of the subscript, it's gonna stay of B, so it'll end up being B.
The reasoning was there, the way you worded it,
Horrible.
so,
Got it.
and part of it, yeah, but in essence, the first part of what you said was spot on. Friction is between these two surfaces, therefore you want the normal force between these two surfaces. Which, whatever, believe you said at first, and then we'll go in for it. Your argument of you can't just get rid of subscripts, and since it's FTB, it's gotta be FB. At least that's what I heard.
Where I was thinking like, because it's friction B, when you're transitioning that into or whatever, and it's still for B.
Okay, yeah. My hesitancy is I've seen people do strange subscripting so that YB is not necessarily the normal force that they have labeled for where friction B is happening.
Okay, I see.
So that was my hesitancy. All right, and I know that YB is equal to MVG, which is 60 newtons. I know that USYB is equal to FTA, which is 80 newtons. Because we found that right up here. Down there, I know that YC is equal to MCG plus YB. MCG. FTD is equal to MDG, which is 20 newtons. I don't know either of the left-hand sides there. So FTW cosine theta equals FTB, which we don't have yet. And FTW sine theta is FTD, which we now know is 20 newtons.
Right.
So once you have the force diagram, you do the equations, you break up just like we've been doing, and now it's just a matter of,
Plug and shove.
yeah. There's a cascading effect because A affects the tension, which affects C. That value is going to affect the friction acting on B, which affects the tension in what I believe I called FTB, which affects ultimately the one that we want. So going to all right. YB. Let's see, we know what FTB is, don't we? No, we don't know FTB yet. I need to figure out YB. YB is 60 newtons. I also have this USB is equal to 80 newtons, actually. So I know that whole thing is 80 newtons. So I now know that's 80 newtons. So in essence, by FTW, horizontally it's 80 newtons, vertically it's 20 newtons. So you can either solve it from here, or just think about it in terms of a right triangle. And so that's the square root of 2,000.
Wait, I'm confused. If you had YB is 60 and you multiplied it by your coefficient of friction, which is 0.7.
Ah, I gave too much information there. Did I ask what's the value of mu sub s in the
I
problem?
think you gave it to us.
Yeah.
I gave it to you? Okay. Well, then I'll go back to, it's similar to, but not the same as. Yeah, unless there's a careless error on here, we can find US. Because we know FTD is 80, we know YB is 60. So what is mu sub s?
Um, 80 divided by 60. Sure is.
Units?
Some,
No, there's none.
8 some. Nope, not a thing.
Unless the physicists have been lying to us all of this time. Did that satisfy the need there, Ibrahim, excuse me? You were the one who asked me to do a problem similar to this.
Yes, my question was also on, so when it's asking the angle for the thing, we would go about finding that by like putting in, so if we found that 80 newtons, so we put 80 sine theta, and figure it out.
To find that, well, if you do it this way to get, oh, that's not right.
I was thinking
68.
actually,
So you did it this way, you would have FTW, and you know FTD, so you can solve for sine theta that way.
you said, okay, say that one more time.
Well, once you do the Pythagorean theorem, you get the value of FTW. And once you have the value of FTW, then I know that the sine of theta is equal to the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So theta would be the arc sine of whatever that is.
How
Four.
did you get 20 is the opposite? Oh. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, I was doing 80 and 80. And then, okay, so then you get that, and then the arc, okay. So the arctan of sine,
The arc sine of that ratio there.
okay.
If you're a big fan of arctan and you just can't do enough, you could have done theta is also the arctan of opposite over adjacent 20 over 8.
And what makes this problem different, like, that switch in B and C?
And I gave you mu apparently.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what's solved for. So with that switch there, I guess there was friction on the table in the original problem. And there was, I did not give you the mu s here, but I gave you the mu s down here. Okay.
Well, there, okay.
Should be 5 units between the boxes.
Oh, that, we did actually. That was the 1.3 repeating.
And so having friction on the table just gives us another force on the, so another equation?
Yeah.
Or another piece to an equation?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes, I'll be turning in my master set within the end of the day.
I look forward to it. As tears of joy will stream down my face as I grade it. Anything less than tears of joy, it's just an utter failure. Okay. I think that should be a good guideline. Tears of joy, or it's an automatic F. That'd make grading so much easier.